Bestie, it is Omisuma 2K over here, your favorite teacher and your favorite online maths tutor. Anyways, I would like to firstly apologize for taking a lot of time to upload, but I'm here now. Anyways, from last video, we were doing a tariff system. As I have emphasized on the last video that the tariff we're doing, it was like simple question. Now we are doing complex questions. Without wasting any time, let's get straight to complex questions. Anyways, before watching the complex question, I would advise you to first go and watch the video before this one, which we covered a simple question, so that you will be able to understand the complex question easily. Let's get into the video. So before we move on to complex question, let's do a recap of the steps of a tariff. Remember, we said that step 1 is finding the difference, whereby we use which sign? Subtraction. And then step 2, we multiply with the prices. Then step 3, what do? We add all our answers. I'm giving you a chance to pause this video, write this down. So now we already know that we're going to minus first, and then we multiply, and then we add. These are the steps of calculating a tariff. Now, remember, in a tariff table, I did say that all tariff tables will have a unit side and also a price. Remember, even though you won't get a tariff table like this, all tariff tables must have a unit and a price. The units are 6 to 0, and then 6 to 12 units, 12 to 24, 24 to 36. If you use, we are doing water tariff, so we're using kiloliters. If you use from 0 to 6 kiloliters, you're going to pay 37.8 rand. Né? Then if you use from 0 to 12, you're going to pay 52.77. Then if you use from 12 to 24, 77.60. If you use from 24 to 36, you're going to pay 105.7. Remember, please go watch the first video to be able to understand what's going on here. Okay, now let's say the question says, calculate how many units would Anita have used if she is charged 1,791.72. Né? If you check this question clearly, it says calculate how many units would Anita have used if she's charged 1,791. If you check this question is asking about units. The moment a question asks you how many units, just know it is a complex question. Now, here you are given a price. And the question wants you to calculate the units. From the previous question, you were given units and the question was asking you to calculate a price. But this time it is vice versa. Please note that. I'm giving you a time to take a screenshot or write this down. Now, the first thing you do when you are given a complex question, you must first do the steps of a simple question. Now, you must do the steps of a simple question. Knowing step 1, what is step 1? Step 1 is whereby you check the difference between the units. So the difference between 6 and 0 is 6. The difference between 12 and 6 is 6. The difference between 12 and 24 is 12. The difference between 24 and 36 is 12. Né? Then after checking the difference, you know already on step number 2 is to multiply your units with your prices. So you're going to say, you got 6 from the first step, so you're going to say 6 times 37,8. 6 times 37,8, which will give you 226,8. And then you move 6 times 52,77. 6 times 52,77 and 16,62. 12 times 77, 12 times 77,6. 931,2. What you need to know here is that, okay, we are calculating, we want to calculate towards 1,791,72. We want to calculate towards 1,791,72. Ne? Already we have 226, 300, and also 900. Ne? We want to know how did they get to 1,791. So before we move on to why are we actually adding here, nah? So remember, this is a complex question. It is not a simple question, nah? The one thing that you need to remember when you are doing a complex question is that you reverse your signs. Which signs are we talking about, nah? Remember, when we were doing a simple question, our steps was to first divide, where you check the difference, multiply with the prices, and then add your final answers. So when we are dealing with a complex question, we reverse our signs, né? So the division, so the subtraction, the minus will be addition. The multiplication will be a division. The plus will be subtraction. Now, that's why here we are adding. Where did we get the adding? We got it from the minus. We reversed our subtraction into addition. Okay. Now, remember, we are moving towards 1.7. Nah? So the first thing you do, you add your prices. Remember, these are prices, and we're also moving towards a price. You add your 226,8 with your 316,62. When you add these prices, it will give you 543,42. Ne? Remember, we are moving towards 1.7. Meaning the unit that we are looking for is not between the first two blocks. Né? And then now, since we know, okay, we are moving towards 1.7 and we still have 500, we then again add the 931,2 to the 500, where we will get, it turned out my camera was not recording. Anyways, so as I've said, it means the unit we're looking for is not in this row, because this row, oh my god, sorry, my camera was not recording. So the unit we are looking for is not here, because when we add prices, they only gives us 1.4, and remember, we are moving, we want to get 1.7. So now we move to the next block. We multiply our unit with the price. Remember, we got the price from here, 105,7. It gives us 1.2, 1,268,4. Ne? By looking at that 1,268,4, you can see that if you add this 1.2 with this 1.4, it would be over 1.7, meaning in this row, the difference we're going to take, we are not going to take the whole 12. Ne? We are not taking, remember, 6 plus 6 plus 12 gives us 24. Meaning the units that we have already now is 24. But we are not adding the 24 with the 12, because if we add the 24 with the 12, it will give us a number that is a price that is more than 1.7. So what do we do when we get there? We do not add the 1.2 with other prices, because our final answer will be more than 1.7. So when we get here, we take our 1.7, comma, and minus with the price that we already have, which is 1.474, comma, 62. And then our final answer will be 317,1. Now, where did we get the minus? Where did we get this minus? Remember, we got the minus from here. We got the minus from here. Nah? We got the minus from here. That's why we are subtracting here. Now, the next step, we still have division that we didn't use. The next step is to divide. Which number are we dividing with? Nah? Which number are we dividing with? So we are dividing our answer. We are dividing 317,1 by which number? Remember, here we are working with a price. We are given a price, meaning whatever we do on a complex question, we are using a price. So we are dividing with 105. Remember, 105, it's under this block, meaning 105, it is a price. Ne? So we are dividing our 317,1 with 105,7, which will give us 3. Now, which will give us 3. And then from here, the last step that we do is that we add the units. We take, I don't have enough space. We take 6 plus 6 plus 12, and then plus the 3, which will give us 27. Now, meaning the units that we are looking for, or the units that Anita used, whereby she was charged 1.7, is 27 units. Do you know if this answer is correct? So if you check here, we didn't add the 1.2 to 1.4. We didn't add the 1.2 to 1.4, because if we added 1.2 and 1.4, our answer was going to be more than 1.7. It was going to be 2,000 and something. So how do we know if the 3, which gave us 27 units, is correct? We take if we take the 3 and multiply it by 105,7, because the 3 belongs here. If we take the 3 and multiply by 105,7, we'll get 317,1. And then if we add 317,1 to 1,474, it will give us 1,791. Let's check. So it's 1,474 plus 62, comma 62 plus 317, comma 1. And then it gives us 1,791,2, meaning our answer is correct. If when you add this number plus this, it doesn't give you this, meaning your answer is incorrect. Now let's do a recap. And on a recap, we need to know that this is a complex question. Why is it a complex question? Because it's asking us how many units instead of asking us the price. Ne? In this complex question, we are given a price instead of being given a unit. Ne? Meaning it is reversed. It is a complex question. That's why we're even using this rule that says reverse signs, because the question, it is also reverse, vice versa. It gives us the price instead of giving us a unit. So the first thing you do when you're doing a complex question, you must start with the steps of a simple question. If you watch our previous video, we did say the steps of a simple question is checking the difference, meaning you use subtraction, multiplying with the price, and then add all your answers. Those are the easy steps of simple question. And then on complex question, since the question is reversed, it is complex, it is not normal. What do? We also reverse signs. The opposite of subtraction is addition, so we add addition. The opposite of multiplication is division. The opposite of addition is subtraction. That's why here we use subtraction. So the first thing that you do, you apply the steps of a simple question, whereby you check your differences between the units. When we check the difference between the units, we got these answers. The difference between 6 and 0 is 6. Difference between 12 and 6 is 6. 24 and 12 is 12. 36 and 24 is 12. Né? And then we move to the second step of multiplying. When you multiply with the you multiply your difference with the prices, which are these prices. These are the prices that we use. And then when you multiply our answers, we get we get these answers. Then now we move to adding. Nah? We're supposed to be adding those answers. Nah? So we add 200 with 300, we get 500. Nah? Remember, we are moving towards getting 1.7. Nah? Meaning the unit we're looking for, it's not on the first column. It is not on the second column because it only gives us 500. Then we add the 500 with the 900, it gives us 1.4. Né? And then if we're going to add that price with 1.2, it will give us a price that is more than 1.7, because there is 1,000 already here. 1,000 plus 1,000, it's 2,000 already, meaning we are not adding this 1.2. We end here, we don't add this one. We do show it, but we don't add it to other prices. Ne? So the step we are moving to the next step. We already used addition. Now the next step is to use subtraction. Ne? We already used addition. The next step is to use subtraction. So we take the 1.4 that we have already and then check the difference. We check the difference between the price that we are calculating towards, the price that we are given, which is 1.7, and the price that we already have. And then it gives us 317,1. Then we are done with subtraction and we are only left with addition. Now, and then we divide the final price that we have with 105,7. Why are we dividing with this 100? It's because this 100, it is a price. Remember, we got this 105 from this side, which is a price. So that's why we are dividing with this price instead of dividing by 12, because 12 is a unit, but this is a price. In this step, we are only working with the price. That's why we are dividing with the price. And then after dividing with the price, we get 3. Meaning, from here, we did say that we don't take the whole 12, because if we multiply our price with the whole 12, it gives us a big number, which won't make into 1.7. So we get the 3. If 3 multiplied by 105, it will give us this amount, you can recheck. 3 multiplied by 105, it will give us 317. And then after getting that 3, what do? We add the 3 with other units, because remember the 3 is a unit. So we add the 3 with other units that we have already. 6 plus 12 plus 3, it gives us 27. Meaning Anita used how many units? 27 units. That is the final conclusion. How do we know if our answer is correct? If we take this 3, which is the unit, multiply by 107, it will give us 317. If we take this 317, add it with 1.4, it will give us 1.7. Nah? Meaning our final answer of 27 is correct. If we didn't get 3 here and we multiply this 3 with this 105, we're not going to get this amount. We're going to get amount that is bigger than this. An amount bigger than this, when added with 1.4, it was going to be bigger than this. Ne? So that is the conclusion of a complex question.
Please comment which topic should I cover next. See you on my next one.